We all know the importance of body language and non-verbal communication. There have been numerous reports and studies that prove that communication is not just about the words that we say, but about how we say it. And more importantly, what we communicate when we're not speaking. And that's great. But how do you know what to focus on when it comes to non-verbal communications, and how do you implement it effectively during speeches, presentations, or even day-to-day conversations? We're going to cover 6 aspects of body language as well as non-verbal communication, so let's get into it. The very first one that we want to cover is something known as functional gesturing. When I had just started coaching people on communications, one of the most common problems to solve was, hey Radeep, what do I do with my hands when I'm on stage? And I had that problem as well. I did not know what to do with them. So I didn't know whether I should be stiff, put them in my pocket, or just fold them. And then I came across this concept of functional gesturing, which very simply means that we only use our hands when it complements the words we are speaking. So for instance, instead of just saying the waves were rising and falling, we can say the waves were rising and falling. And I know that's a very basic example, but we tend to use a lot of verbs and words where we can use hand gestures to complement those particular words. Let's go over 2 quick examples. 2 gestures that you can use in almost any setting. The first one is known as the chop. This is like a karate chop. It can either be double-handed or single-handed. We can use the single-handed one when we want to be a little more aggressive with our communication. This has to go out now. And we can use the double one when we want to emphasize on something. I just love going to that place. And the second one is known as the this or that. And that's exactly how we do it. So an example of this would be, I like animals, but I'm not the biggest fan of cats. And that's not true, by the way. Or, I love books, but I only like non-fiction. Using these gestures will help make a communication on stage or in person a lot more effective, as opposed to just speaking the words. The next aspect of non-verbal communication is facial expressions. A lot of us tend to have poker faces when we talk. I used to have this as well, where I used to talk like this. And it was... Even when I was excited, I couldn't really communicate that properly. Or at least I thought I was communicating it, but the other person did not feel what I was feeling. And communication is a lot to do with emotions. So similar to hand gestures, we need to complement our words or the emotion that we're trying to convey with our facial expressions. If you're talking about something angry, to frown. If you're talking about something happy, then to smile, and so on and so forth. By any chance, if you have a stiff face, we have an exercise known as the emoji exercise. We've spoken about it in other videos as well. But basically what it means is that for about 2 weeks, or if you can for 30 days, simply go to the bathroom for about 2 to 3 minutes, or any room which has a mirror where you're not going to be disturbed. Open up your phone and open up the emojis on your instant messaging application. Then one by one, pick any 10 of those emojis which make very different type of facial expressions and imitate them in the mirror. So for instance, you might do ooh. And yes, I know that might look silly, but the reason we do that is because if you're not comfortable with facial expressions, this helps us stretch our facial muscles in ways that it's not really used to. And when we do that over a period of time consistently, it becomes a lot more natural for us to do it in conversations as well as public speeches. The third point, eye contact. Now we all know that eye contact is very important to connect with an audience or a listener. And when we're speaking to someone one-to-one, it's relatively easier to maintain eye contact. But when we're speaking on stage, I particularly got very nervous when it came to this point. Maintaining eye contact was freaky. I would tend to blank out if I was making eye contact and the audience by any chance gave me even a slightly intimidating look. So instead, if you're in a large venue, don't look at people directly in the eyes. Instead, look at the spaces between the chairs of where they're sitting. This gives the illusion that you're maintaining eye contact without you actually having to do so. We've gone deeper into this topic of eye contact in large as well as smaller venues. I'm linking it down in the description below, or it'll be linked somewhere over here. Check that out if you want to go deeper into this topic. Point number 4 is haptics. Haptics simply means touch. This applies a lot more to one-to-one conversations or more intimate settings as opposed to speaking on a stage. A touch in an appropriate sense can be very, very powerful in communications. It might have happened to you, or you might have done it unknowingly, but when you're speaking to somebody and you sense that they're kind of zoning out, or if you want to convey an important point that's about to come up, and you simply rest your hand on either their shoulder, their elbow, or their knees and say, and you know what happened next. That immediately draws their attention a lot more as opposed to just saying the words without the touch. Try that out next time you're having a conversation. Use haptics to draw emphasis and attention. The next aspect in terms of body language is posture. Most of us think that when we are presenting or speaking, having an upright posture with our shoulders back and our chest out is the best way to go. And in most cases, it is. However, we still need to understand that communication is about emotions. So the right posture is not necessarily standing straight. If you're talking about something that's sad and depressing, we'll communicate a lot better if we depress our bodies as well. If we hunch our shoulders down and talk in a softer tone of voice, as opposed to talking about something happy and inspiring, wherein you actually do stand straight. So the main thing to keep in mind is that when it comes to posture, there is no right or wrong, but it's more about matching your posture with the emotion that you're trying to convey. And the last point, which does not pertain to body language, but it does pertain to nonverbal communication, is mood. What is mood? Most people think that mood is the emotion that we try to communicate. And yes, that's true, but we think of it in terms of our tone of voice or in terms of our facial expressions. When in reality, mood has nothing to do with us as the speaker. It's more to do with the environment that we're speaking in. For instance, the reason why TED Talks look so amazing is because of the brand that goes behind it. Every TED Talk has a signature look with a red carpet and the red and black theme going on in most cases. Let me give you an example in a personal as well as professional setting in one-to-one situations as opposed to public speaking. Now, in a personal setting, if you're going out on a date with someone and you're meeting at that person's place, and if he or she has a very, very dirty house, that's going to communicate something to you. And in most cases, it'll be something that's negative. But if that person has taken the time and effort to create an environment or a mood that's romantic. There are candles, there's music, there are dim lights. The place smells nice and feels good. That mood communicates something else, that this person is taking effort for this date. Similarly, in a professional setting, if we want to talk to our boss about a raise, we can't just interrupt them in the middle of the day and say, hey, I need to talk to you about raising my salary. Instead, we can go up to them and say, hey, I know it's the middle of the day. I just wanted to know if we can set aside some time towards the end of the day because I want to talk to you about something that's important to me. Then at the end of the day, when things have died down, there are less people around, you get your boss in a conference room or a place where it's just the two of you. And before you even start talking, the boss already knows that what you're about to communicate is indeed something of importance. And the mood conveys that in the beginning way more than just the words that would be spoken. And that is nonverbal communication, and it's something that's well within our control in most situations. The main point with all these 6 aspects is that we need to be able to complement our bodies, our tone of voice, and our content with the emotion that we want to convey to the crowd. And I know I've repeated this a few times in the video already, but it is the most important takeaway. While we've covered nonverbal communication and body language, a great way to convey emotion is through our voice. But if we speak too quickly, we might lose out on capturing that particular emotion. So if you're a naturally fast speaker or in general just want to be in more control of the pace that you speak at, check out this video that we've made right here.